Hello, my students. Welcome to my class. I'm Miss Tania Poveda. This is Entrepreneurship 2. Do you remember that last week we were talking about investigation techniques? Well, in case you don't remember, we're going to make a very short review about this. So, what are investigation techniques? Let's read. They are different ways to get information from the market. That's simple. And remember that market is a group of people, possible clients of your products. It's very important, this information we're going to read here. Use the most accurate technique according to the market. Each market is unique and different. So know your market first and choose the best one. Okay? So in other words, you cannot use the same technique in different markets. You really need to know the market and then choose the best investigation technique. So these are two ways we can do a market research. When you have a product and you look at market for it, or when you have a market and then you think what you can sell to this market, so you choose a product for them. The one we're using right now, or the one we're studying, is when you have a product or a service, and then you look for a market. And that's why you create a client profile, because according to a product, you can find the best or the ideal client for that product. You got it? Knowing this, we can continue. Here we have some investigation techniques: surveys, interviews, focus group, observation, product testing, and mystery shoppers. Today, we're going to start with survey. As you can see in the picture, you can have a better idea what a survey is. But let's read the definition. What is a survey? A survey is a method of gathering information from a number of individuals known as a sample. And pay attention that here I underline the word sample because I'm going to explain about that later. In order to learn something about a larger population from which the sample is drawn. Types of surveys: mail or postal surveys, online surveys, face-to-face surveys, telephone surveys. You probably know all of them, or you're pretty familiar about that. Here I'm going to pause a little bit about surveys to talk about sample. So what is a sample in a market research? Let's read. It is a group of people taken from a larger population for measurement. The sample should be representative of the population to ensure that we can generalize the needs or wants from the population. In other words, when you want to investigate a market, when you want to get some information from the market, it's kind of impossible to talk to everybody, to investigate everybody, and make a client profile considering each person in the population. So what you do is that you choose a sample. It means from the whole market, you choose some people for a survey or for the investigation, in this case, for a survey. So how do we calculate the sample of population? Well, we have this way. This is the formula to calculate it. I'm not going to explain about this now because this is going to take like a whole class. I know a lot about mathematics and statistics, and this is not today. But there are other ways to do it pretty fast, and it's good that you know it too, and it's when you do something online. There are a lot of websites that you can calculate online. Even if you go to Google and you type like calculate sample online, you're going to have like thousands of sites where you can do it. So I chose this one here. And I'm going to show you how it works so you will have a better idea of how to use it. Let's see, we have it here. Okay, so this is the site I was telling you about. here. And it's going to ask you some information. Population size, it means the whole population you are going to consider. Remember that you can choose if it's man, woman, the age, the incomes, location, etc., etc. Okay, so that's the profile of your product, but in this case, it's like everybody. Here is the margin of error. The ideal error will be like 0%, so no mistakes. Well, we can play with this. So the computer is going to offer you these options. The most common one is 5, but you can use like a little, like only 1. But we are going to see how that moves. This is the confidence level. This is some statistics information you are going to study someday, or you are probably studying right now. Okay, so let's suppose that we're going to consider Guayaquil as a whole market. Let's say that we're going to sell a product for everybody. Let's suppose it's like water, for example. Everybody drinks water. So we can consider like everybody, men, women, children, teens, adults, etc. How many people live in Guayaquil? About 4 million people, right? Okay, so let's say that we have 4 million people in Guayaquil. So considering a margin of error of 5%, we're going to make an investigation on 385 people. You see, so it means you don't have to interview, you don't have to use a survey on 4 million people, but only in 385. Okay, maybe I want more accurate information with less percentage of mistake, of error. Let's say I'm going to use only 1%. And pay attention what will happen to this number when I use 1%. You see? You see how it grows? It's because we don't want too much mistakes there. We don't want a big margin of error. So it means the sample is going to grow. If I want a 0% here, probably we're going to have an answer like millions here, maybe 1 million, 2 millions. I don't know that yet. You can play with this information too. You see? So it means that if I use a sample of 16,519 people, my information will be more accurate and I can trust better in the answer. Okay? You don't need to memorize this right now. This is not a statistics class or mathematics, so don't worry. But it's important for us to understand what's going on. Okay? So let's continue with the presentation. I'm coming back just to make sure that everybody get what a sample is. So a sample is a group of people taken from a larger population. And remember the exercise we just did with Guayaquil? So the whole population in Guayaquil, about 4 million people. The sample, according to the statistics information, is going to be only a few people, 380 something, less than 1,000. Okay? So according to the information asked in the site, you can play with the margin of error and the confidence of level. So you're going to have the best answer for your investigation. But this is not a statistics class again, okay? So let's continue with this survey. Coming back to surveys, what types of questions can we have in a survey? So we have closed questions and open questions. Any idea what those questions are? Closed questions and open questions? Probably you do. Let's see. So open-ended questions begin with W. For example, what, why, maybe how. It doesn't start with W, but it does have a W in it. And usually they are open because it means you are open to write whatever you want. Like if right now I ask you like, what is your favorite color? And you are 20 students, I will probably have 20 different answers. If I ask you, where do you live? For sure, I'm going to have 20 different answers because the 20 students don't live in the same address. Probably you live in different neighborhoods. So I'm going to have different answers. You see? So I'm open to say whatever I have to or whatever I want. If I ask you, for example, who is your favorite singer or your favorite band, I'm going to have all kind of answers. Probably you tell me, no, I don't like music. That's an answer too. That's okay, because you are open to say whatever you want to. So that's about open-ended questions. What happened with closed questions? You see the long list here on the right? Well, they're called closed questions because there are no more than one answer, especially if they start with auxiliaries or with verb to be, like is or are. Are you Ecuadorian, for example? So the answer is yes or no. Yes, I'm Ecuadorian. No, I'm not. That's it. Or with auxiliaries like do, does, did, would, will, could, can, was, were, have, has, and I'm going to stop here because I'm going to explain about this in a minute. So, examples. Do you like soccer? Yes, I do. No, I don't. That's it. No more than one answer. Would you like to travel the world? Yes, I would. No, I wouldn't. Can you help me? Yes, I can. No, I can't. Were you in the party last weekend? Yes, I was. No, I wasn't. Etc. So you see all these questions have only one answer, yes or no. I like to call them yes/no questions, but the official name is closed-ended questions. Okay? So now you're probably thinking like, why Miss Tania is using this information here when she just said that W questions are for open-ended questions? Well, I'm going to explain you right now. Sometimes you have W questions only if there is a unique answer. So there are no more answers than that. And here I wrote two examples. For example, which are the colors of the Ecuadorian flag? Are you open to tell me all kind of colors? No, right? Because there are only 3 colors. What about the capital of England? What is the capital of England? How many capitals? There's only one, right? So that's why we're using in this case, and pay attention, only in these situations, W questions, because there are no more answers than that. It's different if I ask you, what is your favorite color? Because you probably can tell me, oh, I have like 10 different favorite colors. Okay, it's your answer. It's okay, welcome. But if the answer is limited, like in this case, we consider that question as a closed-ended question. So I'm going to ask you again, which are the colors of the Ecuadorian flag? Come on, tell me. What is the capital of England? Good. So the colors of the Ecuadorian flag are yellow, blue, and red. That's it. No more than those 3 colors. What is the capital of England? London. That's it. A unique answer. And here we have other situation. You can use W questions as closed-ended questions when you are given options. So you are not able to write or to speak freely. You only have to choose, to check, to underline, to cross down, whatever, to point an answer. So here I chose these two examples, like, which is your favorite ice cream flavor? Vanilla, chocolate, pistachio, or I don't like ice cream. So you can choose between those 4 answers. What about on the right? About feelings. How do you feel today? Like right now, sitting here in front of your cell phone or in front of your computer. How do you feel today? And these are the only options that you can choose. Sad, upset, relaxed, or happy. In this case, we have a W question here and a W question here, but you have limited answers. So you are giving options. That's why only in those 2 cases, we have W questions as closed-ended questions. Okay? Okay. Well, there are more types of questions, maybe 3 more types, but we're not going to talk about them right now. That's going to be next class. We have a whole class for other types of questions, okay? Let's continue with survey. And here we have some tips to avoid problems during a survey, okay? So if you don't want troubles, if you don't want to confuse people, make sure that you follow these tips. And let's read together. Number 1, keep the language simple. Don't complicate people with too difficult questions, difficult words. Don't be too technical. Use simple language. People will appreciate that. Keep questions short. Yeah, don't make questions too long so people get confused. No, just short, specific questions. Oh, number 3 is really important because it says avoid double-barreled questions. So it's like 2 questions in the same line. Like you're asking 2 things at the same time. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that, okay? Focus on only one short, simple question. Number 4, avoid leading questions. Sometimes people make questions and they are at the same time leading you to the answer. Like if right now I ask you like, oh, you like ice cream, right? It's like I'm leading you to tell me yes, when probably you want to tell me no. So avoid leading questions. Be as objective as possible. Avoid questions in negative. Okay, that's really confusing. Like, do you like pizza? Yes or no? That's a simple, short question. But what about if I ask you like, don't you like pizza? Okay, so what should I say? Yes, because yes, I don't like, or yes, because I do like. You see the difference? So avoid questions in negative. Make positive questions. Remove ambiguity. Okay, those questions that are like a question but are not a question, and then you are like, okay, what should I answer here? Okay, remember, be clear, be specific. Avoid unnecessary details. Yeah, that goes with a short question because sometimes we say so much, so we confuse people, or people just don't care, or maybe they just don't have the time to read all the unnecessary details. So avoid them. Avoid those extra information that is not going to help during the survey. 8. Ask questions only where respondents are likely to have the knowledge needed to answer. Yeah, so because of the market, you know, like if you're going to sell a product for, let's say, hospital products. So make sure that you are talking to people who know about this kind of products. Don't go and talk to everybody there in the street, all kind of people, because you don't know if they are connected to those products. And that It's going to take us to number 9. Group the questions carefully. Because if you're going to talk to a group of people about certain products, make sure that you organize your questions carefully so you know what you are talking about during the survey. And people can read faster and answer your survey faster. Okay, remember these 9 tips and you're gonna write a very, very good survey. Do you remember in the beginning we were talking about types of survey? I mentioned 4. Do you remember them? Well, this one, mail or postal survey, as you can see in the picture, there's someone writing. Usually you do that when you have different addresses and you need to, you receive some papers on your address and you can send the survey to one place to other, like using the mail or postal service. Okay, well, it depends also on the kind of company you are receiving the survey from, because nowadays I don't think people do that often anyway. So this is number 1. Number 2, online survey. This is like pretty much the most common one right now, nowadays. It's really common that you find this kind of surveys online. So here you can see like options like back or continue. And then probably send or submit. Face-to-face survey. Okay, when you've been to a mall or in the street, sometimes there are people with these kind of papers and tablets here. So people are making these questions and you are face-to-face. And finally, telephone survey. So it happens to you that you call to any telephone service or internet service and they ask you to wait until the end so you can answer some questions. That's very important for them to know how the service is. So you wait and then you press 1 if this, 2 if this, or number 3 or 4 or 5. And usually they tell you like it won't take much of your time because people really, we are really hard to answer questions. So that's why they make sure that you know that it's not going to take long. And why? Because time is really important. And remember the 9 tips I told you before? They say short questions, simple questions, not too complicated, not too many details. You got it? Okay, so let's check on these 4, mail or postal survey. When you receive physically on your house or in your office. Online survey, you get it on your email. Or maybe when you open a website. Face-to-face survey, so physically one person in front of the other, answering the questions on paper or on a tablet. And telephone survey, because we use the telephone or cell phone to answer or to ask questions. And now, what's the difference between survey and questionnaire? Because sometimes people say, oh, it's only a questionnaire or it's a survey. And you are like, okay, you think or we think it's the same. They are similar, but not the same. And this is just like a short explanation so you can understand much better the difference. And next time someone asks you like, can you answer a questionnaire? You are gonna make sure that if it's a questionnaire or a survey, you're gonna know the difference. So the difference is, in the simplest of terms, a questionnaire is a written set of questions. Yeah, kind of obvious, right? A survey, on the other hand, includes not only a set of questions, but also the process of collection, aggregation, and analysis of the responses to the questions, while the questionnaire refers only to the content. In other words, survey is the technical method to collect information during a market research because it includes the process of collection, aggregation, and analysis. While the questionnaire is not going through into an analysis, but is going to focus into the answers or the content. So is a survey and a questionnaire the same? No. No, remember, survey is a set of questions and a whole process. Questionnaire is only a set of questions. Well, this is a questionnaire you are going to solve. I'm going to send this link to your email. And with this, we finish survey for today. So thank you very much for your attention. Take care and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.